open. 3, 2, 1, action. So do you think Peckham has changed over the decades and why?
I think, Peckham has changed over the last couple of decades. Mainly because the demography has changed. It's also got part of the Southwark Area Action Plan, and also because it's been redeveloped by Southwark Council. But what I would say, and I think everybody tends to forget this, is that a couple of years ago there was an idea to actually bulldoze most of Peckham and actually make it a tram depot. So what we're seeing now is not really what was actually planned for Peckham in the beginning anyway.
Do you think Peckham is diverse?
Yes it is, but also at the same time I think we've got a dichotomous place. You know, you've got different layers filling up different places within the borough. For example, lots of people have seen Peckham as the top 10 place to come to, but you've got lots of people who live in the borough who can't have access to places, or who are now saying they don't feel comfortable going into places because it's almost like people are looking at them like, what are you doing here?
Do you think Peckham is safe?
Is Peckham safe? Personally, I think Peckham's always been safe. I think one of the things that many of us have identified is that normally, when things happen in Peckham, it's normally outsiders. It's normally people coming in, opportunists, doing things, and they're the ones who are creating the problems. And I think even when you look at things like knife crime in the borough, we might have a high knife crime, but that I think also at the same time we're not asking why are young people protecting themselves and who are they actually protecting themselves against. For example, you might have guilty parties who walk around with nice intentions, going around trying to stab people, but then you've probably got other young people who are probably carrying knives because they feel it's the only way that they can protect themselves. Simultaneously, at the same time, people have completely lost hope in the police, lost hope in the council. So in a way, they feel that they can only defend themselves. And I think when you look at things like gangs, that's maybe a reason why young people get into gangs, because obviously they feel like it's better to have safety in numbers.
Why did you set up a business in Peckham?
I didn't actually set up a business. I actually just set up a small project. I started doing bike projects, t-shirts, and as I saw what was about to happen, I realized that I could put myself in a position where I can actually make a difference. And I think for me it's about creating opportunities for local people to also make a difference in their community. I think when I look at what I used to do as a living, I worked as a clinical sales manager. It was really about being able to talk to people at a very high level and persuade them to buy my product. And I think when I came back to Peckham, there were a lot of people who would just say no and wouldn't really give a reason why they would say no to actually developing or including people in various things. So I think from my experience, I started to talk to people slightly higher up and then started finding out what the strategies were. Hence the reason why we're in this shop, because I said to Southwark Council that if we have a shop, we can get more.
Do you think Peckham is becoming more like Brixton?
Do I think Peckham is becoming like Brixton? To me, that's a bit of a funny question. I think London as a whole has been regenerated. At some point we're going to be talking Skidbrook like Peckham. I think when you look at the book that I gave you, there's going to be massive changes happening all over London. That's just the way it is. I call it an industrial revolution, an industrial stage in our lives that we're not really recognising. I think the whole of London's going to change. You had the technology, you had the Victorian era when most of these houses were built, and I think that's what's been phased out. You've got a high demography of people that are coming from all over the world who are looking to live in, places like Peckham and central London. And I think that's the important thing really, is that if you look at the distance between Peckham and London Bridge, between Peckham and Victoria, between Peckham and Stratford, between Peckham and Wandsworth, they're all within half an hour of each other. So the question is, if you live in Peckham, you're pretty central. And that's what it boils down to. It boils down to transport and